What role can events play in building a successful practice? This is a good question for the panel on the Detroit Functional Forum. Jeff, you do a lot of different community type of events in Fort Wayne, and especially maybe when you were starting your practice to get people through the door and knew who you were. What were some of the sort of community-based events that you saw that really sort of put you on the map and added value to the community connection that to build your practice?
Well, I mean, I think the big one that you and I sort of synergized at the very beginning, when we were at a conference together, was we did movie nights. We did two, and that was early on in practice. And one of the missions was, to sort of put the message out in our community about what we were about and what type of practice we had, but also, other resources in the community and education. So we did Food Inc. was the first one we did, and then Escape Fire was the second movie. And each time we rented out a local theater and used Eventbrite to sell the tickets, and then had local food places that served food of our, that had the Whole Foods mentality. They came, and so we promoted them. And so we watched the movie together in the theater. I got up and introduced myself and kind of walked through a little bit about our practice, kept it very brief. We showed the movie. They had a big lobby where the food vendors were there and just kind of had discussion and talks. And then we came back into the theater and I ran a panel. And just had a discussion. So for Food Inc., I had a local restaurateur, I had a grass-fed beef farmer, and just ran a Q&A with the crowd about the movie and how it impacted them. And then for Escape Fire, which is the perfect one if you're going to start an integrator or functional practice, I had an insurance agent talking about the best type of insurance for people who wanted to invest in themselves, which was an HSA and still is. And then I had a local hospital COO who was also talking about the pains of insurance-based care. So it all funneled to what we were about and what we were doing. And so it was a great way of, the first time nobody really knew who we were, so it was all potential patients. The second time it was, okay, current patients, bring a friend and you get to come for free. And so it just wound up being this cycle of more and more people. We continue to get asked. It's been a few years. And I guess fortunately haven't needed the business to go out and do it again, but it would be, it's a really great tool.
Since you did it, it's actually even easier because you just go on Gather, they've got the film and they do it all for you. It's a great idea. Charlie, one of the things I love about your program is that when you bring patients into the practice, you're pre-educating them, but it's also happening in a group format. What sort of, when you do your dinner talks and you're bringing people into the practice, what sort of benefit do you think it adds to the practice to be able to, sort of put patients in a room with other people who are just like them right from the start?
Yeah. Well, again, this is the way I built my practice, and it worked for me, and it's worked for 250 clients since then. You have to look at, as physicians, practitioners, we're constantly repeating ourselves. We're trying to teach 52 lessons over a course of time, covering everything from understanding their blood work to gluten to vitamin E, to you name it. And we have to learn that we've got to start presenting that in classroom format because it takes the time off the physician, so you can actually help more people. You can actually see your family and your kids, not work on the weekends. But it's also helping those practice members because in group format, they also realize they're not the only one there. There's all these other people looking for the same help. And they know that I must be in the right place. Look at all these people here trusting this, and they support each other. All the time we would get members begin to work out together. They would find a friend. If they were struggling on some of their diet, they would get suggestions. Even though we had cooking classes, we had things like this, people would offer, they would bring in, hey, I've got all these different recipes that I've done. You want to share these with your clients? So it's camaraderie. And I see that all across the board, but primarily women especially. And women are typically the first people that come to the practice, then they drag the husband in, right? So they love this group activity. And so it was just a plus all the way around for the practice and for compliance. Everyone loved it.
Thanks so much for watching, and for more great clips like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
I've created a special free video just for you called Harnessing the Power of Community in Your Practice. And it'll give you a clinical model, practical tools that double as marketing, and strategies to develop a community of your peers. All you have to do is click on the link below.